Hello and welcome to another update video about oil. So it seems like we are now in the fourth wave still. In the last video, it looked like the fifth wave had already started, even though where I had the fourth, it was quite weak. So we seem to be a more substantial fourth wave evolving right now. And let's talk about the possibilities. There are basically three main possibilities. The first one, and that's what I'm watching for primarily, is that there is going to be one more high in a fifth wave. This is obviously at the moment just the primary scenario because we are moving up in actually quite impulsive fashion. Had a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a 5. What I don't like about this wave count is how impulsive, actually, it looks very impulsive, how this fourth wave is currently coming down. Okay, now it's coming down quite aggressively. So we had a 1, a 2, a 3, yeah, and this wave 4 is already nearly maxing out what it should do. We normally don't really want a fourth wave come down below the 50% retracement level. So this is one scenario I'm observing, but I would like to see the price reverse before it breaks below our support of around about $79 to $80. And we start to see some buy interest come back there, but it will be the next week that probably will decide this. If we look at the subdivisions and we say, okay, maybe this was an A wave, this was a B wave, then I would not like to see the price get a sustained break below the 50% level because it's also very much in line with the 1.618 extension. So $79.40 is sort of the maximum. I wouldn't really want it to go below that. What happens if it goes below that? Well, if it goes below that, then the risk increases that we simply had a three-wave top. Okay, so you will remember what I had on the chart before, and that's still an option, that this move up, I would now need to redo this, but basically that we probably had then just a corrective rally. So it could be that all of wave W was just here. So the wave W that I have here now, so it was here actually. Then this is just an X wave to the upside. I might refine that if we really break below that support, and then the Y wave will send us down basically to another low into our long-term support area down there, which, you know, is still technically possible, obviously, but we said because of the impulsive price action, we're now tracking bullish support. We'll see how high it gets us, but this is now a critical turning point down here where I would like to see a turning point turn around probably next week. This is definitely getting increasingly likely below support, and what I can tell you is that below $79, yeah, trading this on the long side will get increasingly risky, and you can already see what might come up. Yeah, if we break support, it doesn't mean it will go down in a straight line, but it could be that we're then going to retest structural support around the $77 mark, $78, and it might form a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so that's you know, we've got Fibonacci support, and a break below 79 will already be a warning. And if we then see a more sustained break below it, it might be really that we go to new lows. So I don't really want to call that already 5 waves complete. So that would be the third likely option, that we say, all right, you know, is this already 5 waves complete? You know, and are we in a wave 2 correction? Basically that now the view would be, if we get one more high, that we complete 5 waves after that high. And so basically that this would be a larger wave 1. I will change the wave degree in a minute, and that we climb higher like that, okay? And then typically, as per Elliott wave, we know that a deep retracement normally comes in a wave 2. So I want to see the 5 waves up. So that gives me confidence that in a subsequent pullback, yeah, the wave 2 can hold a higher low. If I don't have clear 5 waves, I don't have really confidence, and it's all about trading what's clear. So to keep a clear structure, I would like it to turn around before it breaks below $79. And then it gives me one more high in a fifth wave of wave 1, and then I can watch for a pullback in wave 2. If it breaks down now, I would rather probably prefer the second most likely scenario, which is the Y wave to the downside, basically sending us to new lows. So that will be basically here. Oops. That here wave 2 is just going to reset a little bit lower. Okay. I mean, again, the third likely option is that we have already wave 1 complete, but I would find that less likely. Yeah, not completely unlikely, but less probable. It's always a balance between, okay, what is the most probable wave count? You know, anything is possible, but what's probable? And what gives us an edge in the markets, also with Elliott wave, is to narrow down the probabilities, yeah, and the most likely counts and the most likely scenarios as much as possible. Sure, yeah. So obviously, one such example is a wave 4. I mean, in original Elliott wave books, you know, you would say, okay, a wave 4 can easily go below the 50% fib level as long as it doesn't cut into the wave 1 price action. But, you know, again, you know, it's possible, but is it probable? I can tell you from experience, it's not really. And then it's likely coming down. And, you know, it's all about narrowing it down, really. Still all probabilities, right? But this should give you a good, this should give you the levels to watch, really. And if we see a break above what I have labeled as a B wave high, which is here at around $90.30 on this chart, that should be a confirmation that the fifth wave is moving. Typically, a break beyond the B wave gives us an indication that the next wave has started. And honestly, it's very similar to Brent Crude, okay? Again, I'm watching this with a bit of concern, how rapidly we're coming down here. It looks impulsive. I still have support on the chart here, so I'm watching that $82.50 level. Ideally also here one more high to form the wave 1, then a wave 2 pullback. Or if we break below $82.50, which is the fib support here, we're likely going to come down in this wave 2. That's the red line. I think we shared that with you in the last update. Here as well, that previous wave 4 swing low at around about $82, yeah, which is also going to provide structural support, but it could form this head and shoulders pattern. And if it breaks, then we are most likely coming down in this wave 2. Also here, I cannot rule out that all of this was wave 1, but in my reading, another wave is missing, and I'm not really happy with that. It would be a very unlikely count, or let's say not unlikely, but it's one of the less likely scenarios. It would give us a less likely structure that we would normally not primarily look for. So again, I can only leave you with my concern that we're already very deep in support, that obviously due to the deep pullback into wave 4 support, also here on the Brent Crude chart, it increases the risk of breaking, but for now support is holding. We know how quickly these can turn around at an instant, right? And at the moment it's just 3 waves down so far. And here the labeling, to be honest, would be a little bit different. I would say this is A, B, and we're now coming down in C. It's a 3-wave move. If we now see a healthy lower high and a lower low, then we have 5 waves down. And then the situation is getting fairly clear that we're developing another impulse to the downside. So, yeah, so just a reminder here. Oil is still overall technically in an overall downtrend. We only have evidence that a real uptrend, a long-lasting uptrend has started after 5 waves up, 3 waves down. At the moment, it basically, the mindset needs to be, oil needs to prove to us that the uptrend has started. It can only do that if it shows us an impulse to the upside that is large enough to be relevant, which this would be. But at the moment, we only have 3 waves up. So I don't trust it at this stage. But yeah, again, third likely option here would also be, okay, you know, if it breaks below support, it could be a 1-2 setup already in the making. But it's for me the least likely scenario. Yeah, that's my update about oil. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. We did launch our stocks and S&P 500 service this week. You can find the link in the video description. It takes you to Patreon. You can take a look at what stocks we cover, 20 as a minimum. Yeah, check if it's interesting for you. Daily updates for the S&P, I think very helpful and important in the current market environment where the S&P might have bottomed yesterday. We'll see. So I keep you updated anyway. But yeah, check it out and enjoy your weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.